set this up.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Do you have a question?
I do.
Go ahead.
So to go with your theme, my question is, and I always have to start off by saying I'm not a clothes, shoe, or bookseller. So I do a lot of hard goods. I focus on kitchen goods for the most part. And so when do I use the difference between? I'm into this habit where, because every day could be a different model of what I'm selling, but something similar. So I do one of two things. I'm going looking up the product and using sell similar from an end listing, and I also try to use a top rated seller who sold that item, and I'm using that and then tweaking my own, obviously using my own picture, doing my own pricing and so on. But then where do I pivot as I'm creating my own inventory here in my own and start using templates versus drafts? Like that's where I just kind of a gray area. Looking for best practices here.
So your question is, should you use templates or sell similar?
Yeah.
So I guess in the beginning, you don't have anything to sell similar from because you haven't decided what you're going to sell. So what I would do is I personally would list from scratch, and I would not use somebody's listing. So I'll give you an example. What is something that you normally sell?
Say KitchenAid. I'm sorry, a Cuisinart food processor.
Okay. Cuisinart. So I would use the regular eBay tool. So I type in Cuisinart food processor. I would pick what I think it is. If it's parts, or you want to?
Yeah, I've been using the second one there. Yeah,
the parts.
This one above it. Okay. There you go. So
here I can find the exact one if I want to, or I can click get started.
Okay.
And I think I can see. Yeah, here we go. Continue without selecting a product. If I couldn't find it, I would select this one.
That's what I've been doing. Okay.
Then what I would do is fill this all out the way you normally do. And inside here, I would use a template.
And I do use a template for these. I don't copy other people's.
And is that in here in the advanced editing?
Yes.
Okay. So you enter it in. So this only takes. So why would you not use this? Because somebody else had optimized item specifics?
Yeah, usually this part here that you're looking at, this part's already been filled out for the most part. If I know it's a top rated seller, I know they're already filling this piece out, and that's, you can see there's a lot of detail there.
Yeah.
I'll glance over, I'll look at to make sure that it's accurate. And then I'm just looking for performance and just being regular, I guess.
That's a great question. I would say definitely I would go from the quick listing tool and not selling similar.
Okay.
And it depends on how new you are. I think your method of doing it, if you've never listed before, finding a top rated seller, that's an excellent way of doing it, because you can at least look at their best practices.
Yeah. And I'm not necessarily copying them. Like I said, I'm using my own templates towards the bottom, and then putting my little details in there. But I think I'm looking for more of those that all that little detail that goes in there, just like a shortcut more or less, and making sure the category is right. So I'm assuming if a top rated seller's got it right, it's going to be accurate for the most part.
That's not a bad assumption. I think it's good to. So if I were to help you with templates, what I would try to do is I would look at your store right now and look at the categories that you sell most commonly.
Yep.
And then I would start there, and then I would make a route and see if I could start to narrow down to 10 different kinds of kitchen appliances.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a person in the group that only sells bread makers, because there's like a bread maker every single thrift store in America.
Yeah. And for the most part, I'm been really heavy food processor for the part and selling parts. So selling as a whole unit and also breaking it down for parts as well.
Do you use one, or you just know about them?
I don't really use them that often. I'm trying to actually incorporate that into our kitchen every day. Yeah. It's just, but I know how to use them. I'm familiar with how it breaks down in the parts and so on.
I got you. That's really cool. Yeah. I would say understanding the final customer is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Just getting like what features are going to be important. You might have a hack for what types of food processors do the best.
It seems like Cuisinart's been the top seller compared to like Black & Decker, KitchenAid, and so on. I mean, it's like people ask actually where they made, was it made in the USA or China? I mean, people just know. It's like, where was the Nike made? Was it Vietnam or was it China? I mean, it's like that kind of similar breakdown. So knowing that kind of stuff and putting that into the description goes a long way.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, Sean, if I came to help you for a week, what would you have me do?
It'd be just like, show me. I mean, I feel like I've got a good grasp on things already. I think it was just that initial show me best practices, show me shortcuts. And I think that the templates is, I think it's a good start. I feel like I have a good grasp of my inventory system. It's 250 items on the store right now, slowly growing. I feel like I have a good grasp on pictures for the way I do it. I have a picture box behind me that I take, I think it's like a 3x3 picture box that I use for the most part. And my process system is right behind me on the shelf. I don't know if am I on camera right now or not. I can't see myself.
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for the most part, of the top of these shelves here is like my personal stuff, but you don't see it on the bottom is stuff that I bought from the estate sales this past weekend. It's sitting on the shelf. It's already been inventory, but now I can just turn around, grab it, draft, make my draft, and then queue it up to my right side saying this is now going to the picture. So I have a good process flow of how this works.
So Kevin said that, or thank you, Sean. Kevin said that he would have me watch him do what he does. So I'm releasing this video tomorrow. It's a live action, me doing 10 items. So I would do this if I was following Kevin around. So my videographer is following me as I do customer service, as I pick the items, as I get them ready for shipping. And then me doing all the photography and then me doing all the listing in a row. She follows me and it takes me 41 minutes to do 10 items all the way through. And I think this is what I would do with Kevin. Because first off, I need to know, everyone needs to know where they are at first. So if that's probably a good use of my time. If I came and you didn't know what I was going to be helping you with, and the first thing I did was the first day I just followed you around and see, I can write down how long everything takes and then we can adjust from there. That's a really good use of my time. I would be happy to do that. Kim and Anthony say sourcing. Okay, that's good too, because I think what we would do is break down what you sell and then figure out a plan to get it. I think that would be awesome. I would be excited to figure out and think about this, if you sat down for a week and all you did was think about how to source Cuisinart food processors, I bet there is an account where you can buy you can buy broken Cuisinart food processors directly from them. That account exists. And I'm sure that they probably split it up. I bet there's thousands of returns each year of broken food processors. So if Sean wanted to only sell that brand, he could get that contract eventually. We would figure out where it goes to. And then he would have a contract from Cuisinart for, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years to be the refurbished guy. They send you all the units that are broken or returned. You know what to do. The lot's going to come from items from people just opening the box and putting it back in and never used it, all the way to they used it in a commercial kitchen for 2 months and wore it out and then returned it. So I think how I would approach sourcing comes down to the first part of the day would be figuring out what to sell, and then we would spend the rest of the day narrowing it down. Nelson's talking about he would help me set up, I would help you set up business policies. That's great. I think, let me just check my business policies myself and see how that's going. Let me put this link in for everybody. Put this link in the chat. This is the business policies page. So I'll put this in the chat for everyone out there. And again, everyone in the chat and YouTube land, what would I do if I was helping you for a week? Okay, let's see. Let's look at my business policies real quick. I have 5 defaults, eBay managed payments. So I only have 1 payment business policy. I have a no immediate payment bucket, but I don't use it. I want people to pay immediately. Yeah. Then returns, I just have free 60-day returns. I don't have any other policies. And then shipping, I have a few. So my default is $8.99 standard shipping. I have free shipping on only one of my items, and it's a soccer ball, because that category is really competitive and I still haven't sold it. So maybe I'll lower the price. I have one heavy item that's calculated. So I enter in my dimensions and then it will calculate for the customer. And then I have this policy I want to delete. So I just renamed it delete. So once that item sells, I'll delete that one. And then I have local pickup. I don't have any items that are local pickup, but I used to have like 5 to 10 of these local pickup, like heavy items I did not want to ship. So if I was working with Nelson, we would go through, delete all the ones that because I'm sure he has more than this. I want to have just, honestly, I just want 3, 1 payment, 1 return, 1 shipping. So that's what I would do. Go in there and try to simplify that. Let's see. Mandy wants to know how I don't use a mouse. That's good. But I do want to, I'm thinking about at least doing an external monitor so I can look forward instead of down. I think that would be good long term since I plan on using a computer the next 60 years. I don't want to screw up my body. Sam, the topic for today is what would I do if I worked in your store for a month? I'm sorry, not a month. Well, maybe a month, but a week at least. What would I be doing for you? And Philip says, help me find an efficient plush storage process. Yes, that sounds like an endeavor, but I think I would do shelves. If I did plush, I think every single plush has a tag on it that you could stick in. I would use some kind of inventory tag that I could loop around the tag. And I would just do the same system that I have right now, but shelves. So no boxes, just plush, 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 plush. Same system as mine, but probably no boxes. Let's see. Beth wants me to set up a photo station for her. Let's see.
Hey, Chris, real quick, when you said shelves, you mean just put the plushes, pile them on top of each other or in bins
Just-
or nothing?
I would just put them behind each other. I would have like just one row of shelves of plush loose. And I think Philip said most authentic plush can sit on its own and won't fall over. So I would just put them in a row like
Okay, but you wouldn't pile them on top of each other, just forward, back, and
I
like
would,
have like,
yeah, I would just have shorter shelves. And
Okay,
then I would
got it.
not stack them. No, because if you stack items, you end up losing items or you can't find them or it takes a long time. So I'd rather just do it. So in the chat, this is a bit savage, but people who put in generic questions like my sales are slow, I'm just removing from my channel now. Sorry, guys. There's just too much noise. You have to be more specific. Like, let us know what you've been working on. You have to at least make some effort into figuring out why your sales are slow. We can't hold your hand through that whole thing. So if you just put my sales are slow with no other feedback, I have to block you. I don't have time for that. You have to give us something that we can actually help you improve. Okay. Carol Chan's asking, is there a rule of thumb for pricing women's clothing? Yes. The rule of thumb is whatever the market is for that item, it's going to be different on every single item. Slightly less than that will help it sell faster. Slightly above that, it will never sell. So that's the general rule of thumb. You should look up every single item if you want fast sales. If you don't want fast sales, you can use a general rule like every pair of pants is $1 plus shipping. All of them will sell immediately. So if you want more money than that, got to do a little bit more homework and figure out what it is. Let's see here. Okay, so Sam says I would go to Lowe's with him and I'd help him get all the items. It takes a while to do it alone. Yeah, that's really interesting. If we were to go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, and do the retail arbitrage game, or let's say you have a deal with the manager and you get all the defects, returns, all that stuff. You mean like help load your car? I mean, that I'm okay with that too. But I understand. I wonder if it's like multiple shopping carts or the loading part. Let's see. Sam says, yeah, he needs help loading all the items in the carts. Okay. Man, moving help. At least that's physical. You get out there and do it. It would be fun. I think that I would probably get a cargo van or trailer and a truck if I was going to do that kind of stuff. So it's easier to load in and out. I would not be able to do that kind of stuff with my Prius. Let's see. Oh, Terry is asking, have you seen the new feature on the iPhone that you can take a picture while you record? I have seen that feature. It's not faster than just taking the photos manually, because let's say you're filming it and you press the white button to take a screenshot. That's not going to be as in focus as a regular photo because it's the video camera, which is different. That is way, way slower. Then you would also have a video file on your phone that you need to delete. That would take up too much space on your phone. John wants to do an Excel calculation sheet. That's good. That'd be a good use of time. Figure out one process to record cost of goods, all that stuff. Jane says, nail down what to sell. How I would do that is, and that's what we do that's one of the best parts of the group. Have someone help you find what's local to your area. And there's people who sell driftwood in Arizona. That's amazing to me. Janine says she wants to get faster at everything. Valid, very valid. Grant says he'd like to have me help him source shoes in thrift stores. That is interesting because once I'm done with this week and next week and the week after, I want to do all videos on how to help people go full-time. What does that take? You want to go full-time? Make a full-time living? Okay, what all the stuff do you need? Life insurance, health insurance, you need basic business insurance. You need an inventory system, photo station, shipping station. All your processes need to be set. You need to know how much money you make per hour. That way you can tell your significant other. I know Marcus had mentioned trying to get on the same page as the significant other. That takes time. You have to know. If you have a regular job, you can just show your significant other the pay stub. This is how much I get paid for going to work for 2 weeks. With when you're running your own business, you don't have that unless you have clients. So we're going to be spending time on that. But once I'm done with that, we'll go outsourcing. And shoes is going to be one of the categories I hit hard. I will do it properly. Like my friends Hustle Bee and Hustler Hacks, in the morning, or sorry, the night before, they plan out their whole route, all the different stores they want to go to, reverse traffic. You have to do that. So I would do that. And then for shoes are easier to list than clothing. So I would spend, I think, 30 hours a week minimum looking for shoes. And I'd want to go to as many stores as possible with a simple checklist of, does it pass the bend test? Are the laces missing? Are the insoles missing? Can I really just source items that don't need cleaning? I don't think so. I think that if it doesn't need cleaning, the thrift store is going to ask between $15 and $50. I've seen $100 shoes at the thrift store before. It's basically, that's just a pair of shoes that somebody didn't wear. They donated it maybe because of space. So is there even any profit left in it when it's $25 to $100 at the thrift? I don't know. So I would be curious because shoes have a decent profit margin and they're everywhere. I just did a video on that. $62 average sale price for LC in the group, $11 buy cost. That was a cool model to me, but he only sold 700 items in the last 90 days. So that's less than 10 per day. So does that mean, I don't know if he's full-time or not, but if I went looking for shoes all day and I didn't even find 10, that would make me sad. Because like, let's say 6 hours a day of hunting, 5 days a week, that's only 1.5 shoes per hour. Is that really how hard it is? Yeah, so I wonder. We're talking about shoes that are ready to go, not having to require cleaning.
Yeah, he said he sources 2 times a week yesterday. And I think he does like 2 not 8 hour days. He starts at 11 and ends at 8. So twice a week. I don't know how many hours it is, 9 hours.
Yep.
And he lives in a pretty good area too.
Okay. That's a lot of sourcing. I love it. But I like that he can find that ASP probably, and he does pay up a little bit. $11 is, I think, maybe average. I think I would be okay with him paying up to $20, honestly, with a $62 ASP. I think he would do okay paying up to 20. Oh yeah, he had mentioned that in his post that he was scared about the cost of goods, which makes sense because it's a lot. Let's see. Catherine says she would have me help her go through every section of the quality listing report and understand what changes I need to make. That's a good use of time too. The main thing with the quality listing report, title, how many keywords you're using, photos, how many photos you have. Do you have good business policies? We can go over it now. The business policies here, this is the main thing. Do you have returns? Do you have, what is your shipping? Do you ship quickly? I think on eBay, the average person takes 8 days to ship or something like that. So imagine people in our group, everyone's selling shipping same day or 1 day or 2 day. And then the average person shipping in 8 days, like who's going to have better ranking? In some categories, the average ship time is over 10 days. So I don't know what they're doing, because it's basically an automatic defect, because I think on eBay, it says like, let me look at this. Let me look at the handling time. Yeah, here we go. So inside the handling time, it says above 3 business days is not typical. It says excessive right here, right? But I guess if you're normal and you think 10 business days is reasonable, go for it. You're not going to rank very high, but you can do 30 business days. 30 business days is a long time. I think is that 6 weeks? How long is that?
Well, that's for like, I think it's like stoves and refrigerators probably.
That's awesome.
I use it for when I go on vacation, so I don't have to shut my store off without violating policy.
Yeah. So I like that. And I want to mention to everyone that the average eBay seller full-time only does $2,000 a month gross. So maybe not only, but $2,000 gross per month. So that is on average $100 a day in sales. This is a full-time person. So if we're doing 25% margin, then that is $25 a day profit, $750 a month, full-time seller. So these are people who work, if that's a little between $3 and $4 an hour. Most people who are eBay full-time make between $3 and $4 an hour. That is because they don't have any processes set up. So if you really count all the time that people are working on eBay, I would guess $3 to $4 an hour is what they're making. They would definitely make more down the street at a coffee shop with no headaches whatsoever. All right, let's go through this. Isaiah is saying you'd love to have me build a brand for your store. That's cool. Building a brand is nice. eBay's more into that now. Poshmark tried to do that by letting you put your URL in the bio. So that's a good way to do it. eBay will probably never allow you to drive the traffic directly off, but they want you to build a brand right there on eBay. Sam said he'd make me half the owner and we could split the work. I would never sign up for that. I would sign up for you do all the work and I'll pay for some of the stuff or all of the stuff. But the half owner part doesn't work. But I do think if I was half owner, I would care. When I look at when I watch Shark Tank and they're like, for $200,000, you can own 2% of my business. And the sharks are like, we're not getting out of bed unless it's like 20%. Because they, when they have the money, you have to give up more of that. And then to be in the top 1% of sellers on that site, top rated seller. Let's look. Let's see. Here we go. Let's look at this site. To get into the top 1% of sellers, let's check me out. I'm number 14,000 right now. Although my reviews are much higher, I'm probably in the top 7,000 right now. But this, let's see. The ranking system, right? To get into the top 1%, you only need 10 sales a day. So the top 1% of sellers have 10 sales a day or more. And that's like, I want to say most of the people in the group have more than 10 sales a day, or at least they know they're getting there. And then 5 sales a day allows you to easily maintain top rated seller. So I have to go on like a tiny rant, which is the people who say eBay is unfair. I lost my top rated seller from one transaction. I don't want to say like good, but like when I do like 1,000 things in my day to try to maintain top rated seller. It's hard to maintain top rated seller. That's why I always suggest you do more volume. So 1 or 2 transactions does not bring you below to above standard. So I want you to like be bigger so that when there are defects that happen, because things always happen, you have to just get used to it. So like I want to show this screen flow again. Hopefully I can pull that up because I wanted to hold on. Okay, so let me go back to this real quick. During this process of 41 minutes, I had like 10 people interrupt me. Like, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, my photographer in the background, she asked me like 6 questions while I was doing this. I got a bunch of text messages. I answered some of them. It still took 41 minutes. So like you can get interrupted and still do your day. You just go back to work once you get a question. Let me see if there's a if I can find it. There's a section like right. Yeah, okay, right here. Like here let's see. Yeah, there's like a can't find it. There's like a 1 or 2 minute period in the video where I have to wait, answer somebody's question, open the door, let her go do something, come back. And it still doesn't take that long, even with being interrupted. You just have to go back to work after you're interrupted. There is no, it's fantasy land to be able to work and there you never get interrupted. Where is that? Unless you're like a surgeon or a doctor, or you're somebody, if it's life or death, no one actually bothers you, but just go straight back to work when it happens. Let's see. Yesenia's asking, most of her feedback says she's a fast shipper. Would you get feedback if you didn't ship fast? Yeah, definitely. If I get what is described, I will leave a positive feedback, even if it's slow. Kim says she'd have me build up her draft bank. That's great. So let's say your processes are dialed in. I come in for a week. I can do in 40 hours a week, I can do 800 listings. So if I came to work for you and your systems were set up, I could do a minimum of 800 listings into your draft bank. So that is because we're talking about 2-week draft bank, that's 400 a week for, because that would be 2 weeks for you. That would be a 7. What is 400 divided by 7? 57. Is that right? Yeah, 57 item. If your listing habit was 57 items a day, I would get you a 2-week listing habit, or I mean listing bank, draft bank.
Awesome. So I'll book the ticket and you can fly out.
That's right. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Imagine you take a week off of work, right? Because people want to go full time. You take a week off of work and just list the entire time, get your draft bank huge, right? Because I've seen this before. Like there are work retreats and parent retreats. Like let's say you as one parent decide to take the kids for a week, let the other parent go do something. Obviously very difficult. Not everyone has the ability to do that, but that would be interesting to take 1 week off, focus 100% on seeing how big you could get your draft bank. And then you can be ready in case something happens. Philip says he bought an auction yesterday and eBay prompted him immediately to process payment. Yeah, definitely. Right now, eBay is trying to collect the payment faster. Sarah or Landon says he'd have me fine tune procedures. I love that. Okay, so Sarah is saying she's trying to support eBay more and buy more from the site. And she says it took 5 days before the seller even shipped. That's been my experience too. That's why if I need it, I buy it on Amazon. If I want it, I buy it on eBay because I can wait for it. It's going to be cheaper. I'm protected. You know, I've gotten tons of stuff on for like I know it's going to be screwed up, and I let the buyer know or the seller know, like, you didn't take pictures of the back of it. Why not? Probably something wrong with it. I'm going to buy it anyway. But I need a deal. Get the item. It's not what I think it is. Actually, it is what I think it is. It's just not described properly, and then I can either return it or not. But eBay is a good place to find deals. Let's see. So Grant is full-time by default. He's just doing ride sharing. A lot of people are like that. I was just reading an article that 33 million people have changed job status in the last year. So it was misleading because it said 33 million people quit their job. They called it the great resignation. I don't know if that's true though. I don't think 33 million people quit their job. I think they shifted. Maybe instead of working full-time, they do part-time rideshare, part-time Instacart, part-time Whole Foods delivery. And then they cobble that together and then they do resell on the side. Tim, we're taking a lunch. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris. So I just looked at the business policies. I looked at the page and it replaced it all, and it kind of trashed my listings. It replaced all my listings now with policy listings instead of
interesting.
So I got a problem. I guess I'm going to have to do my business policies now because it took all my shipping out for all these different items. And I got, yeah.
It did that to me as well. If you open up that business policies page, it's going to switch all of your listings over to the business policy format.
Brutal. Because I got a lot of listings. They're all different weights.
You could also unsubscribe from business policies. I wonder if it'll add it back.
Okay. Just for now. I didn't know that I'd have another work pile to do today. Thanks. I'll see if I can do that.
Can you say that again? What happened to your listings when you went to business policies?
I just looked at the page based on Chris's link, and it replaced all of my shipping with business policies.
This page right here, I use business policies, Catherine. So there's a default way I do business. Right. If you don't have a default way to do business, eBay will rearrange them all into what it thinks your business policies are if you've never used this page before.
Okay.
And then also, you don't need my YouTube channel because eBay will explain to you what these things are if you just hover over them. So not that I want everyone to leave the group now, but
I'm going to try opt out and see if that fixes them.
Okay.
There's an opt out button in the upper right.
Yeah.
Instead of deleting them all, I'll just, because it's got hundreds in it from probably everything I've ever shipped.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have immediate pay on all listings? I do. So this is my payment policy. I have the no immediate pay option set up, but I don't use it. All of my listings are in the eBay managed payments. Immediate pay. Courtney would have me go through her items in storage. Yeah, I would do that. Look through what items are worth it to sell or not. That depends on your threshold. But if you told me I want to make at least $20 profit, I want to spend less than 10 minutes cleaning it, I could go through. I would need some kind of rules from you. Let's see. Oh, Mike says it goes back if you turn it off. That's good to know.
Yeah, thank you. That was a breathe. Yeah, it did go back. I opted out.
Let's see. How to set up budgeting for stacking profit. Okay, this is a good question. People had asked how the question keeps coming up, and I want to address it this week or in the next couple of weeks rather. How do I go full time? So the first part of it is, okay, how much do you need to live? I call it a monthly nut, but my videographer and my photographers had never heard that term before. And I when I hear monthly nut, I hear that's your monthly expenses. Make your monthly nut first. But I guess people don't know what that means. So you figure out what your monthly expenses are first. So let's say I did the math on it. It's $2,600 for me if I am single, $4,400 with married, $7,700 with a baby, $11,900 if I want to save some money. So those are the different amounts of money that you need, right? So somebody's asking, how much do you reinvest back in the business? It depends on what your income goal is and how fast you want to do it. If you want the fastest results possible, you would reinvest 100% of it back in the new inventory only. No equipment, no rent, don't get an office, don't hire anybody. Spend all of that money on inventory, list it yourself. If you want to grow the fastest, if you want to grow the slowest, each time you take money out, say you buy an item for $10, sell it for 30, keep $10 profit. You put that $10 profit in the bank, or you buy a sandwich. That's the slowest way because you're not reinvesting it back in. So what I would recommend is you need to develop a savings habit, because I never had that before. I grew up essentially financially illiterate. I didn't understand that savings is a habit. So if you're broke and you have no savings account, all you need to do is when you make $100 in profit, save $1. So you can learn the habit of saving money. Then over time, what you do is you increase that number. So the first month, save $1 because you don't have much. Then 2, then 3, then 5%, and keep raising your savings rate till it's as high as possible. So, when I worked at Lexus, I had all these like self-help and business books on my desk, and I was trying to figure it out. And I had lots of people who bought a car from me. So Lexus is like a non-flex rich person brand. So the average person that buys a Lexus has a net worth of like $500,000, and they make like $90,000 a year. And I know that because they apply for a loan, they put their information in. So people are making $90K a year, decent net worth, perfect credit. That's your normal Lexus customer. So multiple people told me to be rich, all you need is a high savings rate. And I didn't understand that till now. High savings rate means you spend way less than you make and you reinvest that into something more passive, either a business, stocks, real estate. That's how you get rich. So now I know that. So how much do you reinvest? Start at $1, right? Reinvestment, and then keep increasing that. 100% is the fastest, 1% is the slowest. Adjust accordingly. Bill's saying, do I buy wholesale? I don't know how to do it because I always have too much that I have to get rid of. So now I'm just picking all the stuff myself. Let's see. Gal would have me follow him or her around for a day and try to see how I can improve it. That's a good way to do it. Sachi says he or she would have me train or hire a picker. I don't know how to do that myself. I'm learning. I think Tech might be the only person that has that. Dee, do you have a question? I'm just going to mute.
I'm sorry, would you say painter? I didn't hear that last word, the hiring person.
Oh, picker. Picker. Yeah, I personally don't know how to hire a picker yet. I'm working on it. It's because, let me back up for just a moment on that topic. I want them to be able to make a full-time living picking for me. And I don't know how to do that yet. I can say, oh, obviously go out and bring me stuff that's profitable and we'll split the profit. I'll give you a little, you give me a little. That's not a job though. That's nothing. I want like, you can make $1,000 a week shopping for me. Go find these items, bring them to me. But that's the person that I don't know. Do I need to go with them for 3 weeks? They follow me. We go together. We go to the Goodwill bins. 8-hour shift. You clock in at 9. Get there when it opens. Run in there. Get your uniform on. Get one of those Camelback backpacks so you don't need to take any water breaks. Crush it for 8 hours on the way home. Go to the laundromat. Go to the laundromat. Clean everything. Fold everything. Button everything. I don't know what it looks like, but I would love to figure that out. So maybe I'll do that one for free so I can figure out how to do it myself. Julie, I'll unmute you. What's up? Actually, yeah, there you are. What's up?
Quick question about like retail arbitrage is, do you do any of that? And at what, like I'm just thinking about clearance and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody do that? And is it profitable, or is it just a joke, like to just buy stuff on clearance and resell it? Like if you're getting 75% off, is that like not enough?
Tons of people do it profitably. Go ahead.
Okay.
I do clearance with Lowe's. And for me, it's very profitable, but I have a very unique situation with how I do it. Because I know the managers, I get the stuff off extremely, like 95 to 99% off. So
Okay.
it's very profitable for me, but you have to have a very special situation. If I was to just go in and buy
Yeah.
this stuff at clearance price, you would have to
Mhm.
hand pick some items. Like, for example, I was just at Lowe's and there was a water pressure mixer valve that was 180 new and it was on clearance for $44, and there was 3 of them. So that could have still been a good profit if you want to go in and hand pick. But if you don't have a relationship to just go in and pick items, it will never work. You would have inventory coming in way too slow. You'd have to have a listing goal of like 2 items a week, if that makes sense, because you just would not be able to get inventory fast enough.
So what about online?
I've done online.
What if you could,
sorry, what are you gonna say?
I was like, what if you could find that same thing and they're clearanced through the whole like Lowe's website or whatever, and it's 95% off on the Lowe's website, and you buy 40 of them or whatever, like the entire lot.
It doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
The clearance items never get that low on their own. You have to have some sort of outside source getting them that low. It's impossible.
Okay.
So, Julie, for every single type of sourcing, there's somebody who does it profitably, but you have to
Okay.
pick one.
Pick one.
Because I have had that before. When I had my Discord group, people would text me, Lowe's $80 washer dryer combo, 92% off, right? So you use the Lowe's app, it tells you where it thinks it is. I wasted so much time. Like I would drive an hour to a specific Lowe's, go in there, and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, we can sell it to you. It's the floor model." It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they would be like, "Okay, as long as you have time to come back next Tuesday with your own truck, we'll have it ready for you. But we might not, because the company might buy it back and not let us sell it to you." It's like, I'm not doing that. But that's what it is. Getting some of the stuff, it's when it's zeroed out and they mark it as a penny or $1, or the manufacturer buyback, or on those crazy 92% off deals, that's usually not real. You're getting, I would say, like 50 to 75% off is kind of the retail mark. And then you have to be an expert in that category to know, and you have to be able to get enough for it to be worth it. So Tech always says that Amazon, selling on Amazon is always one big bolo hunt. You're just looking for the next product, and it will eventually no longer be viable. So you just have to keep hunting, keep hunting. That's why online arbitrage and retail arbitrage are usually not part of this group, but plenty of people do it. But they usually only do one store. If we were to tell Samuel, like, okay, you need to also do Home Depot, also do Walmart, also do Target, also stop by Guitar Center on the way home and see if they have any amps that are on sale, that's too much.
Right.
You have to just do one category. And on I think it's okay maybe if you just do one kind. So as an example, you only do pawn shops. Okay, maybe you only do Lowe's. Okay, because then you're an everything seller, but at least you're just going to one store. And
Right.
Sam?
I was just saying, yeah.
So
With the, sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
With the Lowe's, like I think it might be possible to do what I do for someone else. The way how I got an in was started out with my dad. He's a contractor, and he goes in and he spends, thousands upon thousands of dollars at Lowe's, and he knows all the managers, right? So he got an in with a manager at the one Lowe's, and we started a relationship with them. And that was how I started getting all the clearance items. But I went to a different Lowe's and started a relationship on my own with them, asking them, hey, I want to buy all of your clearance items for X amount of dollars. I will get all of this, because a lot of the people want to get rid of the clearance items because it just sits there, and they want space to put new stuff, because if not, Lowe's is going to have to send them back up the production line, which is a giant headache for them, and it costs money, and it's just like, you can save them time and money, and also this all depends on the manager, because some managers are afraid to do this. But if you go in there and you say, hey, I will take every single item, you got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly at first to start a relationship, for X amount of dollars. A lot of them are going to say no, but some of them will say yes, right? And so that's how I've been forming my relationships with these people. And they'll say, yes, I want you to do this. So I'll go and I'll get every single item, for however much they give it to me off. And then I'll turn around and sell it. And that's how I do the Lowe's items.
So
Cool.
a lot of managers are afraid of getting fired too. So when I was chasing bolos, some managers would say, you could probably do this deal, but not on my shift. So come back later when I'm off work and you can talk to the next manager and he can risk his job over this, because like they don't want to get caught like selling stuff to their friends or like family members, even if it's not that. They don't.
That-
Why would
that
they
needs
risk
to
their
be
job
like
for
a,
you?
That needs to
Yeah.
be a,
So
Go ahead, Sam.
with this, I've talked to them about it. They are allowed as managers to make these kind of calls. But yeah, a lot of them are
Yeah.
afraid to do it. So that's why it's
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
hard to find that person. One tip of advice, never ever offer a bribe. Like I've actually thought about that before. Like, so I live on a resort and we have tree houses here. That's my other job. I'm honestly, I have basically like 2 full-time jobs. I do eBay and this, both for about 7 hours a day probably. And so I thought, hey, like if you do this, you know, eventually we can give you a free stay in the treehouse. I'm like, wait, no, if I bribe them, that's an automatic firing for sure if they get caught. With doing this without bribes, they're allowed to make that call, you know, because I think a lot of the corporate people would actually be happy, like, good, I'm glad you got rid of it. Because, for example, one of the things I was buying, I almost got a bunch of special under cabinet lights. And I got them scanned in, and the computer said recall item, which means that they couldn't sell it to me because they had to send it back to corporate so they could decide what to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So they don't like doing that. It's a lot of time wasted. They have to store it somewhere in the warehouse before they decide, are we going to destroy it or liquidate it or do what else they do with it, right? So it's a very special situation. So they do have the opportunity to, but I think some of them are afraid because there's some uncertainty there. Like they're not sure if they are going to get fired or not.
I mean, absolutely. It's the same at Goodwill when you see people like there's so much shady stuff that happens. Like even at Costco, people get fired because their friends come in, they don't ring up certain items as they go through the checkout line. Like it's shady. So corporates, sometimes they don't care. They have like a zero tolerance policy, and anything that smells like they're helping you, some managers are afraid. They have bills, they don't want to get fired. So why would they help you?
Why couldn't you do something like that with clothing and handbags and stuff? I mean, isn't that what a lot of resellers do that are dealing with apparel?
They're like Nordstrom, like if you were going to hit like a Nordstrom clearance, online clearance, and you could buy 10 pairs of whatever, and you had the capital and they were like 75% off. Is that dumb?
No, because there's people doing it now that buy that stuff. So obviously someone's buying all of that clearance stuff and then wholesaling it out to us.
Mm-hmm.
Every single model works.
Okay.
So
I think a big factor when you're going in and you're trying to make connections is a lot of times it's how long has that person been there. Like if a person just got the manager job a week ago, they're not going to do it. But if they've been there for a couple years, you know, and it's like, and that's sometimes why it's best. Sometimes you might want to, well, I don't want to go to the biggest person. They might say no. So you try to find a middleman, but sometimes it's just better to go straight to that person. They know the answers and you're going to get the yes or no. And even if you get the yes from the middleman and you think it's working, well, here comes big man saying, oh, actually, no, it doesn't work like that. So you might as well just go, you know, but how long they've been there, I think that matters a lot.
I don't even want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to make deal. I just want to like fill my cart online and have it show up at my house. That's what I want.
Well, Julie, you need right now, it sounds like you're looking for a little bit of validation on different methods, and they all work. So I would just say, take your time, look at different niches, specialize in something. Online arbitrage works. You have to be very specific though. That way, you know what you're getting, you know how the market will adjust. There's people who buy things that are 90% off and they buy 100 units, but they don't know that Walmart sold 100,000 units. So now you have 99,000 other units to compete with online. No one has received it yet. There's no returns, no refunds. It's a pain in the butt to return them. They come in. That's also something that people fall into the problem of. They do online arbitrage and then they return the items and then they get blacklisted because your email, your contact information shows up like person bought 90 of them, returned all 90 of them, that's a red flag. Also, if you forget to return it, now you have 90 items that you just bought at a discount. If you don't have a good listing habit, you didn't list it. I've seen all kinds of shady stuff. I've seen Goodwill managers say, we're not allowed to buy anything. So what, can you buy this item from me? My car is parked down the street. So go to my car. Later, I'll Venmo you the money and then I'll hold the shoes for you. It's like, really? But it's like people are always trying to do stuff like that. And those are never long term. They take too much time. I don't recommend you try to make deals with Goodwill managers necessarily. Maybe if you are a big buyer to begin with, like what Sam was saying was like a master class on how to do this. You work out a deal with a manager in the sense that you buy everything, good, bad, and ugly. They trust you. They know you. There's already been a proof through the whole system. You've already been a regular buyer because you're a contractor, or you know someone who's a contractor, or you work for a contractor. So it's not like you just show up out of nowhere. You're already spending thousands and thousands of dollars. They might even present you with the deal.
They could also increase their prices out of nowhere and you're just out of luck.
That's true too. So OJBs is saying he has a max order of 6 items per item. Yeah, that's interesting. If you have replenishables, especially ones that are really hot, sometimes there's fraud. So like people who sell 10 ice cream machines, in theory, a competitor could buy all 10 ice cream machines, then you have none in stock. And then they sell their ice cream machines on a different account and get all the sales. They get your 10 ice cream machines, then return all 10. So now you've lost 30 days. You've lost who knows how long. Replenishables is a really dangerous game. It's not that easy. There's so much competition. Like we're talking if you guys haven't joined the group, on Friday night, that's the most insane call. I mean, sorry, Thursday and Friday night, the media call and Jack's Amazon call. You'll see I think 2 weeks ago, the media call was wild. Listening to how competitors destroy each other is very scary at that high level. People are complaining about like slow sales and really small stuff when there's people who like lose millions of dollars for things that happen to them. So like,
That
it's
happened
really
to me.
crazy.
That happened to me. I had a bunch of listings hijacked on Amazon, and then also I had somebody buy all my inventory and then hold it, and then did the exact same thing.
Yeah, so if you're gonna play that game, everyone says, "Oh, just buy items that you can just sell the exact same one of." It's way easier said than done.
I have to continually innovate and generate new products pretty much every 3 months. And hopefully I can sell my inventory before the price floats. Because what happens is they buy it in Asia, they make copies of it, and then they flood the market with $1 shipping and 99 cents because they can ship something to the United States cheaper than I can ship it across the street. So
agreed. Dragon says that's very common on Amazon. What's people's ROI on sending a card along with the item? So it costs maybe 1 to 4 cents to send a thank you card to a customer if you buy in bulk. I think you can get it as low as like half a cent if you buy a lot of them. And depending on if they use that link or not, my recommendation, if you're going to use the thank you card, is to have it linked back to your store, and then maybe put an Amazon link on it. If you had an Amazon Associates account set up and you put an Amazon link on your eBay card, you could pay for your eBay card with the Amazon link because they have a very aggressive affiliate percentage. If you have your eBay, you would make a profit. But if you sent your eBay coupon for them to go back in your store, you probably would at least break even. So ROI, I think it's fine. Send somebody a thank you card. It is a nice gesture. It does go into the garbage though as soon as people get it. So especially if you buy the coupon.
I put the coupon code on it. Yeah, the permanent one, the 2023 one.
Yeah, but I'm saying sometimes for me, when I open a package, I don't care about the thank you card. It goes in the trash. Let's see. Why does eBay keep messaging to update listings to keep them compliant? So eBay eBay's kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now by forcing people to do update their item specifics when they don't know how. Kevin, you have a question?
Yeah, it was just back to the thank you cards, getting them really cheap. I use business cards, so you can get, hundreds of them from Vistaprint for just, 20-30 bucks. So they come really cheap if you just use business cards.
Thank you, Kevin.
Just design your own logo.
Thank you. I'll mute you, Kevin, because of the music in the background. But business cards is a great way to do it. So for me, I would just ignore those messages from eBay if your listing is updated already. So don't worry about it. Or you can go in and update them more so that you are above your competition. There's different ways to look at it. Vistaprint is good. What I would do is go to Vistaprint, make everything, add it to your cart, and then close the window. Make an account on Vistaprint, add it to your cart, and then close the window. And a day or two later, you'll get an email from Vistaprint saying, you left something in your cart. How about this 20% coupon to sweeten the deal? So that will work because that's how their algorithm works. Do cars reduce negative feedback? Probably. If we say, if you're unhappy for any reason, we have a full money back guarantee, put it back in the mail, we'll pay for the return shipping.
I just want to
Actually,
also,
you don't have to say that. You just say we have free returns.
just, I know I don't work for Vistaprint, but also if you do Rakuten, you get 3% kickback also on the Vistaprint.
Love it. Everyone use my link here. My favorite one to use is let's see. My favorite one to use is Go Cashback. So let's see here. Put this in the chat for everyone if you guys want to join. Go Cashback. So I recommend using all of these. Let's go to Rakuten and what is it? Be Frugal. So let me put this for everyone.
Yeah, if you use somebody else's referral, like somebody in this group for Rakuten, that person gets 25 bucks or something like that too.
Let me see. Wonder how my Rakuten's doing. Okay, so let's look at this. It adds up for me a lot. Rakuten, I have $2,000 in Rakuten. Go Cashback, $26,000 in cashback. Be Frugal, $12,000 in cashback. So what I do also is I redeem them back for whatever retailer. So Julie had asked earlier about recommended stores. So let's say I wanted to do Lowe's. I could turn my cash back into a Lowe's card to get me a little bit more. So then also you guys should be using these sites for things that you already need to buy. So take advantage, get 1 to 5%. I have an article at dailyrefinement.com if you guys want to check out the cashback, how to do it. But if I wasn't married with a kid, I could live off cashback.
What was the last one you did? It was cashback and what?
Go
Frugal.
cash, be
Thank
frugal.
you.
Yeah. Let's see. Vic says she'd have me get her sell-through rate up. So this week I'm going to be coming up with my new program. It's if you don't have one sale per 100 items, don't list anymore. Go back and fix your store until you have at least 1% sell-through rate, then grow. Because it's really, really, really hard to fix a big store with no feedback, with low sell-through rate. Because here's the thing, when you say review my store, how could we review thousands of items for you? It doesn't work. If you have 100 items, then we can go back and fix it. And even in clothing, especially in clothing, Paul, just depends on when you're just starting out. When I was just starting out, for every 100 items I had 7 sales a day.
What do you consider a big store?
If you're asking for a review, anything over 100 items is hard. Because how do we know? Which items are we reviewing that are supposed to help you? If you have only 100 items in your store, then you can go in and adjust it. But if, let's say you have 500 items in your store and they're all wrong, how do we help you? It's just so hard. 100 though is nice because in the beginning, set it up. we can go through and adjust. In the beginning, though, honestly, in clothing, you'll have you can have 5 sales a day with 100 items in your store in the beginning, because you're learning how to price things. You probably know where they are. If you have only 100 items in your store, you might not need an inventory system. You just remember you put the green sweater in this area because it's so small. So you know everything. 1% per day. Come on, JR, 1% per month. That's 8 years for your stuff to sell. Of course, I mean per month and not per year. 1% per day. Okay, so Courtney and a lot of people are asking this question: how would I approach fixing a big store with slow sell-through rate? 100 at a time. So as an example, you're going to be entering in a new 100 items, right? So you're going to have to keep track. If you got yourself in a big hole and your big store doesn't have a good sell-through rate, you list 100, right? And then the last, you check and see if you have 1 sale a day on the last 100. And you go back and you fix your old items, either by ending them, starting over, making sure that they are good now, or you could delist, relist, but I don't agree with that. I think if you're going to delist and relist, at least improve. Delist, improve, then relist, maybe, but not just delist, relist is super lazy. Like, at least figure out why it didn't sell the first time. But in the beginning, we have the opportunity right now to teach people how to do this right from the beginning. 100 items, 1 sale a day. You know, if you're not getting 1 sale for every 100 items, take a break. And if you don't like listing, no problem. Go back and fix these items first. Then it will suck so bad, you will never want to go back and fix listings again. You'll do it right the first time. Matt is saying 1099K, what's up with it? That's how you get paid when you're a contractor. And it's always been like that. I don't know when the 1099 was invented, but I think the entire time I've been doing this. So I have all the money back sites I use on dailyrefinement.com. Everybody go there, sign up for all of them. It will teach you how to be a really savvy buyer. I'm excited. I don't have enough hours in the day to work at everybody's store, but this is an interesting thing of what would I do at your store? And we have the 24-hour room. So you guys are welcome to turn it on and ask people, okay, I'm about to do my photos. Everyone take a look, turn the video on, do it. It's not going to take very long for you to do 1 set of photos, and everybody in the group can. That's even better than me working for you. Everyone in the group can look at what you're doing and give you feedback. I would delist multiple listings into separate listings personally. That way you can figure out trends. I think, especially for shoe sellers, 10 sizes, 10 listings. Then you know, okay, 10.5 is good, 11 is good. Then you know size. And also, this is shoe game 101. Different sizes are different prices. Everyone should know that. So the Louis Vuitton sneakers that came out that were $25,000 for people who have too much money, the range was like almost $10,000 between the sizes. So, I mean, that's insane. Just a different price. If you guys look at StockX, every single shoe is a different price. So that's why you'll see people all the time. I think it's really important to look at Jessica's post on Sunday, where she posts what sold for you this week. Why are some things selling for so much money? I don't know. You got to go in there and figure out how come somebody sells a Coach bag for $99 and the same Coach bag sells for $30. Like, what is the difference between those two listings? Could be the same bag, could be a slightly different bag, could be a different color, different pattern. But everyone have a wonderful day. If you're here, if you're going to tune into the podcast, today there is no coaching. So the first half of the 2 p.m. Pacific, we record the regular podcast. And then after that, we record a bonus podcast for everyone on the Patreon that's only available in the group. We post that the last week of every month. And we've got a couple of really good ideas to talk about. Also, please email me why having an everything store is good, because we're working on trying to put together a list of that.
Do you have a jewelry call today?
Let me text Linda and see. Let me just make sure. Good question.
I need to get my fix.
And let me see. I mean, Mandy, is she here? Can she run it? Let me see if Linda can.
You can run it. I just asked her.
Thomas. Isn't Linda on vacation?
Yeah, she
Or
is, but
leaving? Yeah. Or
I just
leaving
was,
tomorrow.
let me just see.
Mandy said she'd do a deep dive into watches, so I think it's going to be pretty good.
Thanks, Thomas. So
I'm
she
just
says
saying what you said.
she's gonna try to make it because she's arriving around now, sometime now, but she might not be able to. I'm down to do it with Mandy.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Dive on watches. Okay,
I'll be there.
So we'll have a stand-in coach today. If you guys are selling jewelry out there, our jewelry call is banging. It's really good. And watching people sell stuff that they buy for $1 and sell for 600 is awesome. Jewelry is one of those categories where you can't have a super duper home run. All calls are recorded. Sorry, this was such a hard pitch today, but Wednesday is the only call that we do on YouTube. So I want to get people in the group. If you say your sales are slow, maybe don't join the group. If that's all you can tell us, at least tell us one more piece of information so we can help you. My sales are slow. I'm having trouble with my photography process. Awesome. You suck at listing. Okay, no problem. At least we can have something to work with. Or I have, 10,000 items in my store and I sell one per month. That sucks. So let's look at your store, help you. Yep. Thanks everyone. See you guys next time.